Yo, what's up guys? SWC prelims are going on and I am streaming all of them as a viewer party live on twitch.tv/Seiishizo. So if you want to hang out and check them there, definitely do so. These videos are going to be the highlights of the specific days of the specific region, of their matches that I found most interesting. These might contain spoilers of who's going to win. Also, these will just be the matches that I feel were highlighted, so it will not show the full match of one person to another person, but just actually going for the one matches that I thought like were most exciting and most enjoyable to watch. So I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, we have Gecki and Lonely, Atlantis and the Nikki. Let's see. Vanessa first pick. That's pretty odd, actually. That's... Okay, super fast picks. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Guys, calm down. You got 30 seconds to pick. We go for that Abellio plus Raccoon. That's not really Gecki's normal play style, because most of the time Gecki is more in-your-face, first turning, that kind of stuff. But currently he's a lot more on second pick kind of things. That's definitely going to be a Leo in there. Leo's going to get banned, so we don't even have to question about it. But who do you ban on the other side? You could go for the Cigar and keep Abellio's or like S3 potential. You could go for one of the Beast Riders. Actually, doesn't go for a Leo. Okay, Leo would have been the obvious ban, but in this case, it's a questionable ban. Still goes for the 5th pick ban though, which is definitely interesting. Like, I'm not sure how happy you are to... Narsha and Barbara with attack buff. That's going to do a lot of damage. Wait, Barbara goes first. Okay, it could be good for chip damage. Can you clear the Laura to a certain extent? Goes for the Laura, okay. Attack buff right now. Does the Vanessa actually go before the Narsha? Ooh, that's very good. That's actually very good tuning by Lonely. Because if this armor breaks, that's 2 hits of attack buff armor break, insta-killer. Okay, that is definitely... That's a good start for Lonely. However, Carno and Raccoon can do quite some work. Like, we're not done in the game yet. If there would be a Marsha on the enemy field, then it would be slightly more dangerous. But in this case, this Carno can still do quite some. It actually landed the slow not on the Barbara. Actually landed nothing on the Barbara, which is pretty interesting. We are going to see AoE stuff from Bastet coming in a second, but who are you going to focus next? Are you going for the Raccoon, most likely 100 res? Or are you going for that Carno? Could also be high res. Let's see what this can land. Does land the heal block. Heal block is very important. Oh, that's such a good heal blocker. Gecki's in a very bad spot right now, because you cannot heal because of that heal block. That was a very much crucial heal block right there. Doesn't remove the heal block once again, so he's going to be very low HP. Attack buff Vanessa should kill, does not kill by the sliver of health. Wow, very good start from Lonely right here. Does go for attack bar absorbs of a unit you cannot attack bar absorb anymore. That doesn't work anymore. That did used to work in the past, but this game is pretty much GG already. Wow, interesting. Very interesting. Barbara double Beast Rider. That is so 2019 or something. That's actually pretty interesting, but it did work out pretty well because the Narsha does so much damage. Does do a lot of damage, yeah. You can play this around for a long time, but you're not gonna get through these units. Like, even though there's no sustain on the enemy side, I very much doubt that you would be able to clear the units all one by one. I give it a very slim chance, but the moment that the Barbara goes for a... or the Bastet goes for an attack buff kind of style, there's just so much going on. And, oh, yep, you're done. You are done. You are done. GG's Lonely, wow. Impressive play. Impressive play. But let's see what we have over here. We have Fallen Flower with nearly the highest rank in the game. Talking about Julian. Julian ban and Ragdoll ban. Pretty interesting ban. So that's another Wedget ban. So I assume that Thompson would go for that first pick on that Wedget. That would make most sense. Thompson is always taking his time for his first pick. No, you're not gonna do that. He goes for Wedget. Thank you, Thompson. Don't meme me like that, man. You go for that Wedget. It's the best. I'm very surprised that. Okay, are you just showing everything that was buffed in the last balance patch? Fallen Flower, calm down. We know you have LDs. Calm down. No, you're not gonna be... Jesus, fuck. I got money. That's just what he's showing. I got money, mate. we saw his whole box right there. Thompson is gonna do same thing. It's like, hold my wallet. Hold my wallet. I can do that too. Let me find them. Let me find them. Oh, he goes for a Junior. That's a free to play, man. We can deal with that stuff. But he goes for the Laura in the end with the Oliver, which are both very useful units in here. Juno's more, well, it's actually a good counter pick against the two units on the field. Goes in with that Miles. Definitely good units, even if there's a Leo on the side of Fallen Flower right now. It is still already kind of covered by the Widget and that Juno. So definitely do like these units in here. What would Fallen Flower go for? The Julian is out, so cannot go for that. He does like the Ganymede kind of stuff. Tessarion, okay, but you are not gonna take first turn. Would you still go for like Tessarion Shizuka kind of style? He does like the Shizuka, he goes for the red. He goes for the Renuki. You think Miles needs a nerf? No, I think Miles is actually kind of fine. I definitely do like the opener of Thompson as well, but what is his finisher right here? Would you say like a Hey Gang? Actually, it was literally in my mind, not gonna lie, it was literally in my mind. The only thing that I kind of see a downside of that, your fifth pick has to be damage. I do really like the Hey Gang in this, because you have cleansers both sides, but you lack damage. He goes for the not so free to play version of Hey Gang and a Han. Interesting. Mugul, that's the first Mugul we have seen in pretty much a very long time in SWC. Not entirely sure if I like it too much because of that lore on the field already, but I can see the potential. But that Han, always dangerous. Han is still one of the strongest, if not the strongest single target damage dealers in the game because of its cycling. We have a Diana in there, so Diana is a pretty interesting as well. Would you still signal to ban out the Laura in this case? Oliver is also pretty dangerous. And on the other side, Thompson, to be honest, I would still go for that Widget, man. Like, you have to ban that Widget. It's such an annoying unit. There's so much cycling potential, everything. Even with the Theomars on the field. Not the Theomars, Tessarion. But we go for the Oliver ban and we go for the Han ban. So he does go for the damage on one side. And then on the other side, it's trying to sustain. Interesting. If the Tessarion can land a few good Oblivions, there might be a lot of trouble on the side of Thompson. Can we stun this Laura right away? And it's Nemesis, so whatever you do, if you hit that Laura right now, it's not Nemesis? Wait, what kind of build you're... it's probably a Swift one then, I guess. Wouldn't you just... Well, okay, that's perfect, I guess. Because this really messes up the turn orders by a lot. Very luckily did not stun that unit, which is very nice as well. Didn't go for the S3 though, but... I am not sure if you're not adding slightly bit too much buffs right now. Glancing, no glancing on the Diana. Would have been pretty important, but there is glancing on that Tessarion, which is very important as well. In here, we do have that skill 3 going on. Can actually strip everything, potentially. Doesn't strip the threat state, which is, oh no, wait. That strip was the worst ever. No threat state, and the immunity is still there. So the Tessarion turn did nothing. That is very strong for Thompson right here. Can he go for the S2? Goes for the S2. Doesn't land anything right now. Threat state is still there, and therefore you cannot switch. You kind of are forced to go for that S2. Does get a proc, so has that S1 up later again for the cycling. And the shields are potentially pretty strong as well. Let's see what that can do. We still have that Laura. Does she go for any cycling? Doesn't go for any cycling. But we will see Oblivion coming out of the Scion on this hit. Who do you go for? Would you remove the damage in Miles? Would you remove the cycling? Does go for the cycling. Does land it. Procs. That's going to be some heavy damage. That's actually a lot less damage than I expected. But fair is fair. Big question is right now, you kind of have to, hit the Diana, but you kind of also not want to hit the Diana. You want to kill that Laura. That's Laura S2 didn't do anything whatsoever. But what can we see here? There's no skills up for anything on the side of Thompson. Pushback didn't land. That is definitely too bad. You can push back that Diana, but if you hit something else than that Diana right now, doesn't get the values of the skills. Diana's doing a lot of value here right now because you cannot really hit anything else. Diana not doing too much damage, probably a high tanky Diana. Like 5Ks on a armor break isn't that high. But that Tessarion is definitely something that makes it that there's just less and less damage going in. And I think this is a difficult position for Thompson at this moment. Yeah, the damage is just kind of lacking on the side of Thompson right now, and I would say it's pretty much over. Yeah, that's definitely a high tank. Diana, probably crit rate slot 4. Yeah, Mugwell didn't do all too much. GG's. I did really like Thompson's opener, but the last 2 units didn't really react that well into the final units of Fallen Flower, I would say. We have a Wusa ban and an Oliver ban. Okay, interesting. Oliver's not really that much of a common unit for Firas. Maybe started playing that more recently. But I'm surprised that the Tian Lang is not banned. That's definitely something I would signal to ban. Also, Firas didn't ban the Tableau / Jamire comp. Uh-oh, Firas is going weird shit. Firas is going absolute weird shit. This is 2 options. This is the Firas special, saying, okay, I go super weird shit, and either it's super 5-hat and it works, or it is absolutely garbage. And there is nothing in between. Sorry, viewers, that I call it this way, but you heard it from me before. Chloe first pick. I don't know, man. I've been in game with, or in guild with Firas for too long, and he was always saying like, okay, we need that Cardinal on defense. We need a siege defense with Cardinal, and we was trying everything. This, that, left, right, center. It never worked. It never was good. But Chloe first pick. I am still not sure what she's going to do on the field right now. I am not sure. I have absolutely no clue what she's going to do here. And that Leo, I don't know. What are you banning here? Ban the Chloe, please. I don't know. I have literally no clue. Bida got Ethna? That's a very good pickup for him. Like, I do like the draft of Bida a lot, and the draft of Firas is just weird. Like I said, it's either super 5-hat, or it's not gonna do anything. So is that Chloe actually going to outspeed something? But then again, what does it do? You have 2 units that single target strip. They don't give a shit about your Chloe. That's the thing. Like, if you Chloe 5th pick, like, if you have something special, you 5th pick it. Because then people cannot draft according to it. Now it's just like, amazing that you drafted it. I can still go for an S2 and then, or just an S3 straight up. Like, doesn't matter. Okay, didn't stun, however. We can go for the retry. It goes for that. Okay, interesting. But we still have the Jamire Tableau comp. Like, we're not done yet. You're still waiting 6 turns to do anything. You're gonna be sitting there for a little while, man. It's gonna take a while to get anywhere. Does do good damage. Does definitely do good damage. Yeah, we go for resetters. You can heal. Chloe's gonna heal, boys. She did it. I do really like the draft of Bida, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can even steal that 3-turn immunity right now. Exactly. You have a 3-turn immunity right now. That's... okay, you kind of have to... You were kind of hoping that you were able to stun those units. Didn't stun the Cigar, though. Cigar stunning is pretty important. Is that the comeback moment for Firas where he didn't stun the Cigar? Is that potential? Is that game plan? I don't know. Firas does have very tanky units, and they have been surviving for quite a while. Gets that procer. If he armor breaks right now, Cardinal can actually do a lot of damage. That part is definitely true. Goes for the Tableau. Interesting to not go for the... Stuns everything with the Cardinal. Wow, okay. But stunner back. Stuns nothing with the Monkey. Bida is slightly unlucky on those. That's definitely a thing. And... yeah, the Monkey's just not... You have to go for... the Monkey's not stunning everything! Wait, is the draft of Firas good? Or is the Monkey just sitting there like, I'm shithole. I'm not she-ho, I'm shithole. I am definitely shithole. I'm not gonna do anything. You think I'm gonna do shit? Fuck that shit. I'm not doing shit. Fuck that. Why should I do anything? Like, I don't need that. The monkey doesn't do anything. It doesn't I'm not even sure if it's fire or not, but that's a win for Viros. There's no way you're coming back from this. Chloe MVP, Chloe didn't do anything. That could have been any speed lead and the game would have looked exactly the same. It was not Chloe that worked. It was the Cigar, the Carnal, and the Praha. Chloe didn't do anything. Chloe annihilated the passive or like the potential of anything. It's healed to keep the Praha alive. We have Jet Band and we have the Dark Pure Vanilla Band, which I still don't remember the name of. So something with an A. No, the water one is with an A. Jet Band does make a lot of sense. But the cookie, interesting. We've seen the cookie being used from Lest. Okay, doesn't it, maybe the Laura, maybe the Cigar? Does give the option to give the Laura to Truo, because I was pretty sure that Truo has that as well. Plus the Oliver. Elena, yes. So Oliver and Laura, definitely strong opener. How does Big V respond to that? Cigar is, I would say, not the best of first picks. Why does Cigar suddenly have such a high pick rate? I think Cigar is a very good tournament unit in general. I think Segment is also one of those units I value higher in tournaments than on ladder play. Asher. Okay, Big V is going for some... well, we were talking about the only 2A that is available in RTA with reasonable pick rate and reasonable win rate. Asher. With a Juno. So he's signaling speed without any speed lead. That is somewhat interesting. Let's see. We have a Miles and we have a Raccoon. I don't really like the Miles. Well, do I like the Miles in this case? It is a safe pick. I would say it's more of a safe pick rather than a very strong hard counter pick at the moment. And going for a safe pick in this where you don't know 40% of the draft is definitely not wrong. But what does Big V would go for this in this case? Volantis and Leo. Okay. That would be signaling somewhat to a Raccoon ban, but I kind of expect a Leo ban in this case as well. You're not dealing all too well with the Oliver, and I definitely do like that Meowang in this case. Meowang is definitely something that's going to be difficult for Big V to deal with. I'm not sure if Truo has it, but a Seimei would be very strong on the side of Truo as well. If he had Seimei, Seimei would have probably been one of the best picks. However, you would have been somewhat low on damage. Yeah, you would have maybe been too low on damage. I like the Meowang. It only would work if you have a damage Oliver. But I think Leo is probably gone. Would you respect that Meowang? Respects the red. Okay, so there's no healing on the side of Truo in this case. I do actually like that red ban. We've seen red with quite a lot of potential throughout a lot of stuff. In this case, the big factor is going to be, what can that Volantis do? Can the Volantis actually go for like heavy CC with provokes, with debuffs later and all of that kind of good stuff? Or can the Volantis not do too much because he's stunned in the first turn? We have an Asher that's also on Will. Pretty interesting. Goes for that. Okay, so are you going to S2 here right away? I'm not too sure about that. Goes for a skill 3. Interesting. Keeps all of the skills. Huh. I am not sure about that play of keeping all of the skills there. Doesn't get the cycling, that's too bad, but to be honest, you didn't need it too much in this case. But I'm not sure about Truo not using all of the skills, because in this case, you're going to get glanced, and the moment you're glanced, landing those skills is going to be a lot more difficult. Good value for the unit that you didn't glance to actually be stunned. So let's see what Big V can make out of this. We do have the longer the monkey's on the field, the more damage he starts doing at some point. And let's see if that monkey can actually get rid of some units later on. Is this a high damage Asher? I think it's a crit rate Asher. Does do a decent amount of damage. I think it's more artifact damage than actual full-on damage. Laura does have a final moment of being able to do a skill. Would have to go for that S2. I think it's your best bet. S3 will be a bad one into the Juno later on. And actually doesn't land anything with it. Like, not at all. And I think the match is kind of in the bag for Big V. Good procer on that unit from Truo though. Armor break, 9k damage. It's decent. It's more of a setup rather than like you're dead already. I do see the monkey having potential if this fight goes on pretty long. The monkey has potential to go in pretty far and do a lot of damage. But until we're there, that will still take a little bit of time. And there's no sustain. Well, there's slight sustain on the side of Big V with that Asher skill 2 keeping in. But Asher skill 2 is gonna be removed the moment Asher dies, of course. And is this the moment he dies? He doesn't die, but Truo with another procker. And would you finish it off, or would you go for another unit? You could say Cigar S2 and kill it off with the Oliver, but does the unit actually move first? It would have moved first. However, you would have been able to reset the Cigar then. I would say Cigar reset probably has highest value. Okay, I guess stun on the Miles. That's probably your best take, removing the damage. Or going for that Oliver. Doesn't land it on the Oliver. Oliver almost lapped the Cigar, which would have been pretty impactful. Doesn't lap it, does get provoked. Monkey does have the skill 2 up once again. And Monkey is on full stacks right now. So this Monkey is gonna deal a lot of damage if it keeps proccing like it was proccing before. And I guess the Cigar could be on Vio, but that's the only Vio unit on the side of Big V at the moment. There's still quite some time for... Oh, Big V is not landing those stuns that are very important. And we do have a cycle from that Oliver. Oliver moving first on that armor break. Is this a damage Oliver? 7k, definitely not a damage Oliver, but it has been on the field for a long time. If it was a damage Oliver, probably would have been dead already. But this monkey was a very good pick from Truo. The monkey is cleaning up this stuff. It's cleaning up the mess. Not too sure if I like that stunner up there for a cool time increase, because you could have been stunned on both units. And that is somewhat of a risk. Like, sure, you can take that risk, but I think it is somewhat of a risk. In this case, definitely you have to get rid of the Cigar. Does have that second skill, but Monkey should have this throughout. You can kill that Oliver, but after you kill the Oliver, it's... Monkey should solo this. Yep. Does get the glancing right now. Glancing is high value for that unit to do a lot less damage. But because of that glancing, you're not gonna land the defense break most likely. So you go for that S2. Ooh, if Juno counters a lot, I see potential for the Juno. That Juno is definitely good ruined. But you don't want to get those... The speed buffer. The speed buffer. This is not gonna kill. Next hit is going to kill. If this S2 procs S1 with armor break, he would still win. If not, he loses. Ooh, is that enough HP? It is enough HP! No, you still need that one procker. S1, S2, that's your only out. That is not your only out, and the Juno is crazy. The Juno. We all thought the monkey was gonna have it, but the Juno actually had it. Cool match, very cool match. We have the Laura ban and we have the Gianna ban. Cigar first picking. Okay, so that Cigar... Did the Cigar have too much value in the last round? Decent amount, but I'm not too sure if it was the most contested value unit. In the end, I would say the Asher and the Cigar didn't really do all too much. Like, sure, they were a decent amount of chip damage, but in the end, it was really the Juno that came in with the damage. So, yeah. Interesting to see that Cigar in there. Okeanos for Big V with a Asher. Okay, actually, I said like nowhere we're going to see Okeanos. We are going to see Okeanos. And we're going to see that Asher. But on the other side, we see the Widget. And the Renuki. Once again, direct. I feel a lot more for Truo's draft at the moment than for Big V's draft, in all honesty. But let's see how that pans out. I'm curious, what would you pick next to this? Like, to be honest, in most cases, if people just play full on meta, I can pretty much predict what people are going to pick. But in this case, it's just super weird. He goes for the Elena and he goes for the Miles. Elena was pre-banned previous round, so it does signal that Truo did his homework, that Big V does like to use that unit. Elena is actually pretty strong, because you have that 2-turn Oblivion in 2-turn reset, which is very fast. And you have that skill 3, which doesn't touch the unit, but does AoE strip and puts slow. Which I would say is arguably a decent counter into Widget and kind of stuff. But then the CP plus the Ryu, I kind of like the CP Ryu as well. But yeah, Widget, Renuki, you kind of have to ban either or. And in this case, I think Maybe you kind of need the speed lead to get the strip in. I don't know. A gang would be must ban. I guess so, but how do you deal with the Raccoon and the Wajet? Vert. I kind of like the Vert. Because if you go Vert right now, sure, Vert is somewhat counted. It is actually hard counted by the anti-crit of Wajet. But if you ban out the Wajet, it's definitely good. If you ban out the Moor, it's still pretty good. The only issue is like how much are you going to get CC'd yourself? Because Wajet Raccoon plus CP is not gonna make you move for days, what, for years. So I kind of like the Vert, but I think also the Vert is somewhat tricky. Vert is respected and is banned. CP is also banned. So that probably did signal that he expected the Vert to be banned. We have an HP lead on the Elena, which is pretty interesting as well, but I think it's going to take quite a while for Big V to take a turn here, and then the big question is, how much lively are you by the time, and how many skills do you still have available? That is a Swift Moor. That is 100% a Swift Moor. Truo doesn't land... that's really bad value for Truo, because he doesn't land the strips on... He needed the strip on 3 units. He only had the strip on 1 unit. Cigar is mostly... That's why Cigar is technically good. You only need the strip on like -1 unit and you're still good to go. But if you get the strip on -2 units, that's where it gets slightly troublesome. However, it's still decent that it's on the Asher. Like, Asher's going to be annoying with the speed buff and that kind of stuff. But I think it is decent enough value where you can get away with like, okay, Asher, just take your turns, go for the healing, go for your whatever. There is enough cycling on the side of True Will as well. But however, the Miles does get speed buff, and you don't like Miles speed buff ever. You do have to get that Okeanos pretty much controlled. That's the main objective of this. Okeanos controlled and try to mitigate the damage of the Miles to a certain extent. Is that possible without getting Oblivion by the Elena? That's not an easy task throughout, that's for sure. But let's see how we can do. Okay, we get some skills in. We also have healing from Elena, of course, on that skill 1. Tumbles in decent amount of damage. Okay. Does notice that the Ryu is somewhat weaker, but we have another cycling from Wajet, man. Wajet's cycling is so much. Wajet plus Rat, man. It's just so much cycling. The issue, however, is can the... Oh, double resistance. There's no provoke. You really needed that provoke. Plus, Truo does have that unit on Swift. There, it is a Swift Moor. You can throw this back to the Cigar. And you can go for skill 1. I knew I didn't have the skill 3 up. You kind of need to proc right now to get that skill 3 up. Didn't land it, however. Just the value of that provoke is already pretty good. Ooh, that's a very good stunner value as well. Because that would have pushed back and removed a bunch of the speed buffs. And we have that heal block on there. Heal block is very impactful. But if you push back the Okeanos right now, Cigar should move. Cigar does move. Actually with a pretty decent, substantial amount. You can go for another round of skill 3s, but... As we can see, the units of Big V are still very lively. Oh, he misses the... Ooh, he misses 1 unit. But the damage on the side of Truo was actually very mediocre. The only damage on the side of Truo was actually that Moor going for AoE hits. And sure, it is a decent amount of damage. But since it's Swift, it cannot cycle into violent procs. It cannot go for despair stunts. The only CC you have is actually that Cigar. And Cigar cooldown, especially on that skill 3, is pretty lengthy. And you have to keep in mind, you have to control pretty much everything. And yeah, that is not an easy task. That's not an easy task. We have more Wajet skills coming up though. That Wajet is doing so much value. That Wajet is actually doing so much value. It's just about like how often can get the Ryu skills back to actually start doing like decent amount of damage. Ooh, we have a procer from that Elena. That's actually similar to what Lest had. Lest also had that unit on Vio. If there was a proc on the Okeanos, it would have pretty much been GG. But this is the moment you could actually land that skill 2. Doesn't land it! Ooh, the one moment the unit could shine so much. Doesn't actually land it. However, the slow potential that we've seen throughout is already pretty big. But Wajet would have not been able to heal, would have not been able to boost attack bars on this right now. That would have been a really big factor for Big V if he actually landed that second skill. This match is actually super slow pace. Nothing is really dying, but it's still pretty exciting of which way it goes, because there's like one small proc moment, And anything can still go anyways. However, this Okeanos is looking not that lively at this moment and will probably go down here. Yeah, I would say take the Okeanos, does take the Okeanos, can provoke the next unit. Yeah, I think Truo is kind of in a good position right now. The Raccoon was able, through all of that cycling, to get quite a lot of attack bar or quite a lot of HP bar back on all of the units. And with that, I think that Truo might have this match and we will go into a match 3. But we're not there yet until 4 units are gone from one player. We do see another procer on that Elena. Does land the Oblivion this time, so that does actually rip the cycling for quite a little bit of time. Raccoon is not going to cleanse that off anytime soon. Would this be a dead cigar? Doesn't go for a cigar killing on that one. Actually waits out his turn, goes for that speed buff. Speed buff will actually do a lot more damage, a lot of damage from that Miles. Ooh, I do still see potential because Elena has that skill 3 coming up. If it procs again, it has that skill 2 coming up. It is still a lot of value. However, the Raccoon is most likely... Ooh, it still healed the wrong unit, and therefore Oblivion is still there. If the Oblivion was removed, would have been a lot more value for True Will. But that Miles with speed buff, and I think that's the main take of Big V over here. Miles with speed buff, and that is starting to do a lot of damage on the Dasher. Wow. Okay, would you land this on... Would you prolong it, or would you place it on the other unit? Wait, it actually kills. No, wait, Big V has this match. Like I said, like it feels really back and forth, but you still don't really know who's winning. Moment Okeanos was done, I'm like, okay, that should be the damage, right? That should be the CC. But the actual damage is the speed buff Miles. I don't think you can come back from this, because in the end, Elena has heals on the skill 1, and that's actually 3.5k. That's a decent amount of heal. Plus you have that Asher heal. There's no way you can come back from this. Wow. Dark Pure Vanilla. The unit is actually good. And it's on Vio. And it makes sense in here. Also the Asher. Asher plus Miles combination does make a lot of sense. And the Asher does good damage too. So Truo is 2-0'd. Wow. Truo in losers bracket. We see a lot of people in losers bracket already that are quite favorites. Well, this match, it was super close. Previous match was also super close. So it was 2-0. But this definitely deserved to go all the way to 3 because these matches were just that close. But yeah, the Oblivion on a 2-turn right now, Dark Pure Vanilla is a lot better than I expected, not gonna lie. Okay, do we see the same picks or the right picks this time? Wait, let me actually update the timestamp because we're like 26 minutes ahead from what we just were. But we actually see the Oliver in the right pick right now. We see the Raccoon and the Cardinal in reversed order, but I think that's totally fine. Do we still see that Pra going in right now? Pra does actually make quite the sense. Yes, this Pra is still in there. So it actually didn't change anything. Pra does make sense in here. Miles is banned, so you cannot go for the Miles. Goes for the Chiti and the Sheng. Okay, it's somewhat early because there is opening for example, that Hey Gang. And you only have one stripper on the field right now. So I'm not too sure if that's that much of a great opener. Also, Praha's strip is known to be not 100%. So... not sure if I like the Chiti and the Sheng right there. We do also see a Josephine, and Josephine does signal in, well, actually counters the Pra and counters the Chiti and the Sheng. However, is hard countered by the Oliver, so it kind of signals that you're banning out that Oliver. On the other side, I think he's, I guess, aiming to a certain extent to ban out that Braccooni. But the ban on the Hey Gang might also be pretty decent. Goes for that Diana, and Diana actually signals I'm banning that Cardinal. And Diana's also banned. Diana does make a lot of sense for the ban as well, but in this case, the Hey Gang is pretty much just going to reign over this. So I'm not too sure if the Chiti and the Sheng is going to be able to do anything. It also... what? that's not how turn orders work normally. Fine. That's... No, never mind. No. With that... Might as well go for an S2 proc, S2 into S3. I don't give a shit by this point. What the actual fuck was that turn order? Like, Swift Monkey by all means, okay, but the Oliver is not even tuned to your AoE stripper? What? Like, man, you're giving free load to... you're giving free elo to Gecki right now, man. Like, what? While we still see Wajet having so much value in all of the stunts. Look at that, man. Look at how OP Wajet is. Wajet is like, I'll just heal that full team. Fuck it. We're not done yet. Like, to be honest, Fallen Flower might still win this. All you need is one good proc from that monkey and enough healing from the rest of the team. And he can still win. Legitimately, Fallen Flower can still win because how good of Wajet is at the moment. But let's see if he can make that work. Resistant on the pushback. Vio Wajet. That you don't see too often. Most of them are actually swift. That's also not the unit you probably wanted to have Vio over there. But you don't have any resets, so the monkey is actually gonna go off. Oh man. Wait, wouldn't you do that? Oh, you were so close to actually lapping that. Wow. That he actually lapped that with the speed buff on the Laura. Did not expect that, but now we're gonna see some monkey cycling with Wajet cycling with Oliver cycling. That is game for Fallen Flower. Imagine inting that hard on your speed tuning and still winning because of the units being OP as fuck at the moment. That is pretty int. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That is pretty freaking int. Like, yeah, full cycling. There's no way you can leave. Yeah, Gecki knows. Gecki not wasting our time. Gecki not wasting his own time. That combination was strong though. Even if you completely miss out how you have to speed tune it. Damn. Did he put the monkey set on the on the Wajet and the other way around? Maybe, I don't know. That was the worst speed tuning I've seen in a match that was still won that easily by the person that was speed tuning that wrong. That was wow. Oliver or not Oliver. The blue Oliver and the Phalanthus being banned. Let's see what we can do with those. So that's probably, once again, Laura first pick. Definitely goes to Gecki. Wajet definitely would go to Fallen Flower. To be honest, I don't know how to play into Fallen Flower. When are we seeing a tier list, sir? Probably, I think pretty soon. Normally I make it later in the season, but I'm thinking about making somewhat more recent this time. We see a Raccoon right away with the Wajets being answered with the Pra and the Carnal. Is that a Pra that's actually in tune? Probably is. But what do we answer on that at the moment? You have a whole bunch of options of potential units that are decent. But what are the decent units you want to use into this? Cigar is an option. Kind of hard count per Carnal, but counters out the other things. Exactly over there. What other units? He does have Julian, if I'm not mistaken. But do you want to use a Julian into a bunch of CC units and pushbacks and that kind of stuff? Mainly pushbacks. Let's go for the Oliver. Oliver always a safe pick as well. However, you only signal out one single target strip right now. If Gecki were to go double immunity kind of units right now, or a Douglas, very strong unit as well, then you kind of have issues because I do really like the draft of Gecki in this case. To be honest, I would have liked the draft even more if there was a Leica plus a Douglas. Because Leica plus Douglas can never be killed by any of those 4 units. Never. And the Mayo Wang can technically be, like, it's hard, but he can technically be killed. Leica would have been completely ignoring all of that stuff too. Dark Demon, of course, was a good ban, but was also like 100% the banned pick. So once again, we have that monkey. Can that monkey do enough? Because monkey can technically be pushed back. A Leica, you can push back, but he still counters. Is that a super fast Swift Oliver, or is just everything off tune? I don't know. Okay, good value, double stunner. Gecki is sitting in the driver's seat right here, dropping a lot of damage to everything. However, these heals are going to make it look like, were you in the driver's seat? You didn't take that many heals. Because you boost up this, because of that boost, you get the double attack bar of it, and everything is full alive. Pretty much, more or less. Well, maybe the Raccoon, not that much. But there's just so much healing. There is legitimately so much healing. Like the Wajet, you can literally turn to a Wajet because it heals that much. My Leica wouldn't count it, maybe. But yeah, look at the liveliness of all of the units. Like, you have to go for that Raccoon right now. If you can manage to clear out that Raccoon before anything, you can get away with like some decent stuff, but even then, not really. But on the other hand, it also will take ages for Fallen Flower to get any damage in. And where are you gonna get the damage from? Like a Cigar S2 Armor Breaker into a Oliver S3 that does near to no damage as well? Not gonna be too much damage. However, the cycling is there. We have seen that cycling before. The Wedget is Vio. Keep that in mind. That's a Vio Wedget. He's gonna take a lot of turns at some point. He's gonna control everything. Like, the only thing he can't really control is that monkey all too much. Can the monkey do enough, though? Is the 100 res Wedget? Could be, could be. Like, what else would you put on Wedget, to be honest? Like, just tankiness and 100 res. That's pretty much the only two things you can go for. But, to be honest, I would have rather seen him use that the other way around, because if you use the S3 on the Praha, you could have used the S2 on the Laura. But decides to go for, okay, I don't want to get cycled by the Laura, which is definitely an option as well. Does have the issue right now where the cooldowns are off. But we also have seen that Raccoon just, it heals enough by himself. Okay, then we have that skill going once again. We have that armor break. Can this monkey actually... He has to fight that defense buff and the crit, anti-crit. So actually lands both critters and lands all of the skills right now. However, the issue is, even if you land both, you got 2 debuffs, which just make it heal more. If you land the provoke, there's 3 debuffs. Like, this thing is gonna heal so much. Like, look at this. Look at that healing. How much HP? Half HP. We go for one Raccoon turn, throw it on yourself, or throw it on someone else because you have the skills. You're pretty much lively again. This combination is just so strong. Wedget is just insanely strong. Like, there's literally no damage on that team, supposedly. But it's still doing a lot of stuff. The only issue we're gonna get at some point, that monk is gonna one-shot something at some point. I'm still saying, if that was a Leica would have, like, one turn killed something. But... the monkey has good potential to do that at some point as well. One procer S2 S1, you're done. But that can only work if there's not the buff of the Wedget. And yeah, the issue is there's often that buff of the Wedget as well. Oh, doesn't get any sleeps on the Laura. Does actually get a very good proc potential. The Carnal can actually kill on this one. Cannot kill, and we do see more cycling from the Oliver. Oh man, oh man, oh man. That's a slight heal over there. There's a little bit of heal over there. Oh my god, man, this match is taking hours. But this can still go either way. This match can absolutely go either way, but... Wedget, man, it's... Okay, can we kill? Does get the critter, does get the procer, can actually kill right here. That's definitely high value for... That is definitely high value for Raigeki. But Raigeki is also gonna lose 2 units pretty soon. Very soon. At some point. Some point in time. Ooh, that's actually very good value for Raigeki. Once again on that procer. Doesn't push back anything on that unit though. How much damage can you do on the Raccoon? Can you snipe at the Raccoon right now? Try to snipe out the Wedget. But the Wedget already has shown it is good odds that everything on the field right now is 100 resistance. That makes things pretty difficult to actually start killing anything. And can the Oliver actually cycle his pushbacks good enough? That is going to be the big issue. And 50% of HP down and attack up is going to make the monkey hit like a truck at some point. That is for sure going to happen. Monkey is also going to be pretty fast, but you still have to go through the defense buff, through that anti-crit. And you actually have to take a freaking turn. Like, holy Jeebus. Oh man, this is taking ages. Raigeki, actually for the little amount of turns that Raigeki takes, he does get a good amount of procers, not gonna lie. Like, he literally takes more procers than the Raccoon and the Oliver are taking procers right now. But is it enough though? Is it actually enough? And Fallen Flower is making the right place of getting the most uptime of all of his buffs at all time. Does get the procer on that Raccoon. Maybe didn't actually want it at this case because he wanted to have the skills up. I'm not sure if that's... okay, the reset on that one is also there. But the monkey is doing 50% HP damages right now. Can this Oliver actually push back the monkey? The monkey is not on resistance. It's most likely on nemesis. And that is definitely an issue situation for this monkey. Because the monkey can actually kill stuff, but the monkey needs turns. The Wedget actually denies these turns. Can the monkey proc? Monkey can proc. It doesn't crit first one. Does crit second one. Crit second one doesn't kill on the second one. We get 70-70. And 70-70 means everyone is going to do damage right now. This is like the last moment. Like, okay, everyone is going to do damage right now. But not if you don't crit. Wow, Wedget is way too strong. Like, anyone that's claiming right now that Wedget is not insanely OP, you're wrong. Like I would have won that I totally agree on that one as well. Leica, Douglas would have been like you can't CC them. Or you can't CC the Leica. You don't stun the Leica. Leica, if that many turns for a Leica, he would have counted so much, he would have killed 100%. Leica would have been the better pick there, yes. But you would need to wait for that 1v4, most likely. So yeah, Julian, once again, great showcase of an incredibly strong unit. And GG. Which also means Gecki is also in the losers brackets. But GG to Fallen Flower. Let's see what we have for round 2. Would you actually pre-ban, as I mentioned before, would you now pre-ban the Jemire? Exactly. That's how you play exactly against a person that is using a very one-trick comp. You first ban the one core unit, and then the next pre-ban you ban the other core unit. And his whole comp doesn't make too much sense, and he has to go freestyle. But he's not used to freestyling on ladder that much. He played 2,000 matches doing that exact same thing all the time. We see a Chiwu ban on the other side. It's interesting, does signal out that you still want to go, like, you're still pushing in the same thing ever and always. V can easily go for a Oliver plus a Ethna right now, even though he doesn't really like those plays too much. Probably goes for that Asher that he showed earlier. But he would definitely have to go for a speed lead here to actually contest the speed. Because I still think you don't want to give Bida saying like, okay, you take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 turns first, and then I'll take a turn. That's definitely not what you want to play into a Tableau person. So with those units, we're not seeing the speed lead yet. We do see speed potential with the Asher. But is that enough though? Because Bida is known to be fast. If Bida drafts in that Molong or Icarus or other units right now, it might still be kind of an issue. We have that Ethna, we have that Marsh. Okay. Does only have one single target strip at the moment, but is Big V actually going to commit to a speed lead to say like, I want to contest your speed? Or does he say like, okay, no, I'm still fine. You go with that Ethna skill 2 S3, I have full immunity most likely. You actually have to go for that S10 and March can maybe kill something and then go for it. Yeah, he does go for a full turn 2. Interesting. And then the Douglas. Douglas becomes 100% must ban. There's, well, technically the pudding, you can throw with the pudding, you can throw... no, wait, if you throw with the pudding and you glance, you don't land the skill. So the pudding can actually not land the Oblivion or barely on the Douglas. That's going to be very rare, so you have to ban it. But we do see... I'm not really liking the draft of V all too much in this case, because Leo into Ethna... Like, sure, Leo into Tableau is nice. But Leo into Ethna... That's somewhat of a struggle situation as well. Ethna will have like a lot more cycling than you do. But in the other hand, it does have to go through Volantis. And going through Volantis means if you S2, you get stunned. Which is definitely not a good thing as well. So let's see what we have over here. Ooh, Masha moving... Well, oh no, wait, this totally makes sense that Masha moves to this situation. But would you go hard on the Leo? Like, Leos in most cases are kind of squishy. The Asher cuts. That's a super fast Asher. Well, I do know Big V actually has incredibly fast runes. That's totally true. If he puts his fastest runes to that Asher is going to be incredibly fast. And yeah, we see good CC potential over there. We see glancing throughout the field. We see another Daughters. We're going for more rounds of TOA right here. That's a lot of damage right here. You could throw it on the Athena to reset it. You could throw it somewhere else to add in a lot of damage. Goes for the Athena to reset it. If you go for this skill right now, it's actually... I thought I was going to say that he doesn't use it because you want to save it for your... If he is doing TOA hard in auto, yeah, exactly, man. He's going hard on this one. But there's just very... Ooh, that's some heavy damage. That is some heavy damage. And the Asher is just cleaning up. Wow. Wow. That's insane. Where not just the pudding plus something fucks up your whole team and starts TOA harding. You do have the Jemaya for resets potential. Okay, he actually goes for the pudding. Wait, is he going to kill the pudding on this? That means that you have to S3 this, but there's 2 AoE strippers on this. Okay, let's see. Let's see what this can do. Okay, are you going for that monkey then? Endless death? It will only kill 1. Like, if it kills, it only kills 1. Kills nothing. This was the Chloe of Pyros. No, actually the Chloe of Pyros worked. This one didn't. No, it's one of those things, like, in theory it can work. But if you throw it against someone with the best rune quality in the game, it's just... You need some crazy rune quality. You need to make it fast. You need to have crazy rune quality. You need to have everything rolling. And he's like, I tried. Good attempt. I like the attempt, but yeah, that didn't work at all. A Sonya or a Deafness, as you're saying, Leon, definitely would have been better there, yeah. A Big V is the winner.